Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing another sit down video and because I want to. My channel, I do what I want. Actually, I really value your guys' opinions and I know these aren't your favorite, but I felt like this video was necessary, so we're gonna do this one today. And we'll get back to the vlogs next week. I promise, stick around. The vlogs are coming back. My life is very boring right now. All I do is go to work, the gym, and then I sit at my desk and do schoolwork the rest of the day. And then I eat every once in a while. So that's what I'm doing right now, and it's boring. So we'll get on with the vlogs when I'm not boring, if that ever happens. Anyway, what's today's video? Why am I chatting at you? Well, I have some new faces around here, and honestly, life has been changing a lot. So I want to reshare my fitness journey with you guys, give it some updates, and I want to kind of stop calling it a fitness journey. Because in all honesty, yes, that's what it started out as. It was fitness and nutrition based. It was me trying to change the way that I looked. But now it is so much more than that. And I just want to call it my journey. I'm 21 years old. I'm on a journey in life to find who I am and who I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's not all about fitness anymore. That's a huge part of it, but it's not all about it. So I wanted to take you guys through how I got to this point from the very beginning. So grab a chair, buckle in, we're going for a ride. I'm gonna take my glasses off because there's a little bit of a glare. Okay, so just a little bit of background information. You guys don't really have to know all the details, but you know, I grew up an athlete. I was active. I played softball, golf, and I was a competitive figure skater from age like 7 on, and I did that up until my senior year of high school. And then decided not to continue at the collegiate level with golf. That was the opportunity that I had, but I decided not to take it. And you know, within that time period, I was an athlete. I wasn't super aware of what I was eating. I feel very lucky that my parents knew what they were doing, and you know, they didn't allow us to eat whatever we wanted, and we ate well home cooked meals mostly. And you know, I was never the fast food type of person, stuff like that. So in general, I wasn't eating crappy food, but I wasn't really paying attention to what I was putting into my body. And like, especially when I got that freedom of getting my license and like around junior, senior year, when your freedom starts to come a little bit more, when I wasn't home, I wasn't really fueling my body that I needed in the ways that I needed to, but again, I was so active that it really wasn't affecting me. However, my senior year of high school, I did get a personal trainer because I wanted to build up some strength and get prepared for softball season. So I worked with a personal trainer from fall of senior year up until the spring when I started softball. And I think that's really what started to get me into the gym and where I kind of started. After I graduated high school, I went to college and I did what everybody does. I didn't work out. I didn't care about what I was putting into my body. I went out on the weekends, and basically I just stopped prioritizing myself and my health. And it caught up to me very quickly. I don't even know, I gained probably 20 pounds freshman year. I was so unhappy. When I look back, yes, I looked a lot different. I wasn't happy with the way that I looked. In general, I was so unhappy. And it hurts my heart to think about that, honestly. Like, that girl, and she was so lost and so overwhelmed and struggling, but that's what I did. I went into college and I said, I get to choose now, you know. And my roommate and I, we didn't have the healthiest options in our room. The chips, I specifically remember always having Oreos and Cheez-Its, and it's fine in moderation, but that's all we had, and it caught up to me. I stopped caring. So I remember when I realized that it was around Halloween, I realized that I really didn't like the way that I looked anymore. I really struggled Halloween weekend because, you know, we had taken some pictures, and looking back on those, I was like, wow, I really don't like the way that I look. So I started figuring out how I was gonna make that change. However, I did it the half-assed way, and I downloaded an app so that I could work out in my dorm room. My dorm room that was like the size of someone's large walk-in closet, and I started doing like body weight workouts in there for like 20 minutes. And you know, not to say that that can't work for somebody, but for me it did not work, and it took me like 8 weeks to realize that. So when I went home for Christmas break, that's when I really decided, you know, when I go back, I'm going to get a gym membership and I'm gonna do this. So I went back and I got a gym membership, and me and my friends decided we were gonna do it together and started going to the gym. I stayed pretty consistent with it. I started waking up earlier and prioritizing going there. I had no idea what I was doing. I was following random Instagram workouts, like the swipe ones. I seriously had no idea what I was doing in the gym, but it was around the springtime then that I had gotten into a pretty consistent routine. I had started learning more about nutrition and tracking macros. I had downloaded the MyFitnessPal app. I don't even have that app anymore. That app did me dirty, I'm not gonna lie. But my research consisted of things that influencers were saying online, and that is the issue with today's society, and it severely hurt me and my health. I was taking advice from people that shouldn't have been giving advice in the first place, and I listened and I started tracking my calories, and I developed an insanely bad relationship with food. Come spring of my freshman year of college, I was working out and eating so little, and I was very, very small. I was the smallest that I had probably ever been. I didn't have access to a scale, which is probably a good thing looking back now. But you know, looking back on those pictures, I was very, very thin, and it was unhealthy. I was unhealthy. I was trying everything in the books. I was intermittent fasting. I remember going to bed at night in my room at like 7 because I was so hungry, and I just wanted to go to sleep so that I could not feel that hunger. You know, I would have my friends in my room, and they'd be making popcorn or coming back from the dining hall with ice cream, and we'd all be sitting there like hanging out, doing homework, watching TV. And I just remember feeling so hungry that I'd be like, I'm going to bed because I can't be around this. And that is horrible. It's horrible. And then I would wake up the next day, and I would wait till the very, very last minute before I had to leave for my class, and I would eat as fast as I could because, I can break my fast now, but I barely have any time. So I'd eat as fast as I could, and then I'd rush to class, and it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy at all. And I restricted myself a lot, and I put myself down a lot. And at the end of the day, tracking calories was super detrimental to my mental health and to my relationship with myself in general. So that went on for the rest of my freshman year, from the spring to the summer when I went home. So I spent the summer at home, and that is kind of when I was still tracking macros loosely, but that's when I decided that I wanted to be stronger. And for the majority of that time, I was working out at home because my gym membership was at school, but halfway through the summer, I decided that I wanted to get a gym membership so that I could be lifting weights and getting stronger. And you know, that summer I just really spent time focusing on what I loved to do in the gym and really finding a passion for working out. I would say that summer was when I truly fell in love with working out and with going to the gym and lifting weights. So come sophomore year of college, I moved back to my college town and I moved into an off-campus apartment because I was planning on transferring schools at this semester, and then I didn't have to deal with the lease. So I am living in this off-campus apartment with one other girl. She was a senior with one semester left, really busy, not there a lot, and we got along, but we weren't friends. So I spent a lot of time alone at that point in my life, and right now I love time alone. I very much cherish it and value it, but at that point in my life I did not want to be alone, and I felt very alone, and that's when the gym kind of swooped up and saved me. And that's when I started actually learning about nutrition. I had switched my major to exercise science. I was doing actual research, and I decided to cut the crap with counting calories for a while and just really started to focus on fueling my body, listening to my hunger cues, and intuitively eating. So I was doing that, and then I was using the gym to feel something, I guess. In context, that semester was one of the hardest for me because my best friend had just moved from that college to a different one, so we were no longer together. My other friend was going through an extremely hard time in her life, so we didn't spend a lot of time together because we both, I was there for her when she needed, but she needed more than me, and she was surrounded by a situation that I didn't want to be surrounded by. And then Ethan was still, at a different school, and basically I was counting down the days until I could leave that school. And honestly, I had applied to UW-Madison, my dream school, but I wasn't going to get my acceptance letter until Thanksgiving break. So, for the majority of that semester, I was just hoping and praying that I was going to get accepted and kind of banking off of that because I was not signing up for spring classes at the college I was at. I was not figuring out where I was gonna live. Like, I was fully planning on leaving merit semester, except I didn't know if I was gonna get into UW-Madison. So I was dealing with a lot of stuff at that point, and the gym was my outlet. It was my place to go and feel like me. And I started over. I started learning about my body and the food that made me feel good. I started learning about proper form and technique and exercise and how to lift weights. And that's what got me through that semester. And that's pretty much all I can tell you about that semester because that's what I did to get through. So we got through it. I'm here to say Grace, that's sitting in her dark little apartment room, you got through it. I did get accepted to UW-Madison, and I did go move to Madison that January. So now we're sophomore year, second semester, January 2022. 2022, that's this January 2020. I feel like that noise, like that dun 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 should come on anytime you say January 2020, because we were all so oblivious. We had no idea what was about to happen. But I moved to Madison. I switched my major again. This is my third major now, to dietetics, because I started getting into nutrition and feeling this passion for nutrition because of what I had gone through. I wanted to learn and be able to help others not go through that. So I transferred, I switched my major, I moved into a different apartment, didn't know anybody, and I put my head down and I had all these expectations, and none of them were met. I was there for 2.5 months. March 13th, we got sent home for 2 weeks and I never went back. I pretty much did the same thing there that I was doing before. I was fixing my relationship with the gym and with food, but then, come March, we got sent home, and, I was at home for a very long time after that. So I went back to home workouts. Everything was closed. I had to figure it out. And that time is when I truly fixed my relationship with food. When I was at home, and this may be a very privileged thing to say, and I do understand that I come from, I have a privileged background. I'm very grateful for the way that I was raised and for the opportunities that I have and for the family that I have. But when I was home, I had full access to nutritious foods. And I really fell in love with cooking at that point in my life. I remember my mom would always be like, all right, you're in charge of dinner. And I'd be awesome. You know, I cooked a lot, and I truly fixed my relationship with food from March 2020 on, when I was at home and spending time with my family and stuff like that. So I was still working out at home because everything was closed, and then eventually, you know, the gyms opened back up and I got a membership. Actually, no, I didn't get a membership. I worked out at home until August. In that time period, a lot happened, as it would for many people, but some pretty big things that happened to me during that time frame from March 2020 to August 2020. The number one thing being I left Madison and transferred to Arizona State University online. It wasn't right away. I actually took a semester off, but I did leave UW-Madison for financial reasons and because I couldn't be there. I was doing homework in my room. But I left UW-Madison and I got my certified personal training certificate and I started my business. And it was, that time in my life was a huge turning point, and it was overwhelming and scary, but it has brought me here. And it was tough. Leaving Madison was a really tough decision for me, but at the end of the day, it was the right decision. And I really got to focus my time away from school on my career progression and my business and my relationship with myself. So I truly look back at that time and I'm super grateful for everything. But August was when I decided I am not gonna live at home anymore. Love my parents to death, but I wanted that independence back. Not to say that it was taken away, but you know. So I moved and I started a new job at Starbucks because, you know, they pay for my tuition at Arizona State University. I got my very first apartment, which I'm still in right now, and I love it. And, you know, I spent that semester off growing my business, working on myself, figuring out what I wanted to do with life, and all that jazz. So then when was that? That was like September to December 2020. So now we're in 2021. I started school, finished up my junior year, kept focusing, you know, on everything. And then, you know, from that point until now, like, here I am. I'm a senior in college, finishing up my first semester of my senior year right now, and looking back on everything, fitness has played a huge role in my life, and it still does. But I gotta say, I'm still figuring it out, and I think that's one of the most important things that I want people to know when they're on their journey, starting their journey, halfway through, feel like they're at the end. It never stops. I'm still learning what my favorite way to work out is. I'm still learning what food feels best in my body. I'm still healing my relationship with food. I have recently started tracking macros again and learning how to do that in a healthy way because it supplements my goals, and it's a tool for me to reach my goals. And I've really switched gears and started focusing on my mindset and the law of attraction and the power of manifestation, because at the end of the day, our minds are the most powerful thing that we have. And looking back, you know, my mind played a huge role in some of the really difficult times that I went through because I was in my head. You know, that first semester of sophomore year, I used to sit at my desk and I'd be staring down at my book. All I would be thinking is, oh God, what if I don't get in? What if I don't get in to UW? What if they don't accept me? What am I gonna do? I can't stay here. I hate it here. I'm so unhappy. I would just tell myself that over and over and over again. Like, of course you're unhappy. Your own head can't even like support you. All you're thinking about is the negative and the bad things that are happening. And, you know, not to beat myself up because I had no idea, but looking back now, like, that's one of the things that I truly try to incorporate into my life because that's what's going to keep me going, is believing and knowing that I'm on the right track and using the power of my mind to keep pushing me forward. So that's why I don't want to call it a fitness journey anymore. Yes, I still work out. I love to work out. I love to move my body, but it's not always at the gym anymore. I love to go for hikes and walks, and today I did more of like a HIIT style workout, and it was fun, you know? Sometimes I think about like my athlete roots, and I love to lift weights, but I also love a good like hardcore workout, and I've been learning to incorporate those and learning how to build muscle and how to eat well. You know, for the longest time I was eating like literally no protein because I don't eat meat, and it's fun. Like, that's the thing about it, is it's fun. When you truly accept that the journey is never ending and it's not linear and it's gonna go in all different directions, it's fun because you never know what to expect and you never know what's gonna come your way. And in all honesty, there are a couple things coming my way right now that I was not ready for, that I still don't feel ready for, but I'm really grateful to be where I am right now and to have the mindset that I have right now, because if these things would have came at me even a year ago, I probably would have curled up in a ball and cried about it for 10 days and then just thrown in the towel and said, you know what, someone else can decide this for me. But now, you know, trusting the process and believing in myself and knowing that at the end of the day, whatever way I go, I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna get it done, and it's gonna be the best thing for me because I chose it and I decided it. So that's where I'm at now, and it's really incredible. It really is. And you know, my purpose right now with this channel is to just help at least one person. If one person is watching this and you're struggling and you don't know where you're going and you don't know what your journey is about and you think it's just about fitness or nutrition or changing the way your body looks, I hope that this helps you, and I hope that you know that you're not defined by the way that your body looks. And yes, it's gonna change when you start making those mindful changes in your life, when you start prioritizing your health. Your body's gonna change, but we can't focus just on the physique, because that's when we get in our heads, and that's when it starts to get a little bit detrimental to the mental health. Some people can do it, and I wish I could be like that, but most people, it's a struggle. It really is. We all have our insecurities, and if you are constantly focusing on fixing those insecurities, it's only going to bring more attention to them. So that's the journey. There are journeys within journeys. I will always say that. The journey changes. You go through a little journey within your journey. I tore my meniscus last year. That was a journey within the journey. Had to recover from that. I developed a bad relationship with food. That was a journey within my journey. At the end of the day, it's not going to be linear. I promise you, it's not going to be linear. But it's going to be worth it. And I hope that you grow with it. I hope that you don't stay stuck. You're like, nope, I got to be here right now. Things are moving, but I'm staying here. No, move with it. Grow with it. That's what you're supposed to do. Don't be stubborn like I was. I still am stubborn, I will say. Just be open to growth. That's what I gotta say. Be open to growth. Thanks for listening, guys. I know that was long, but I wanted to share that with you because it means a lot to me, and I hope that it helps you in some way, like any of these videos. If it does help you, let me know. Like, I like to know that stuff. But thank you for watching, you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help support me, and we'll talk next week.